Oh,
So
nice.
if one of my friends doesn't have a room, that's cool.
Yeah, true. But again, you never know when it comes to hotel and lodging. Oh wait, I hit the live button 2 seconds
Yeah,
ago.
we've been live for like 30 seconds now.
You know what? I'm just gonna do that from now. I'm just gonna be like, hey, pre-cut content. This is a production meeting. This is just a simple, impactful duo free-form chat. But I digress. All right. Hey, what's up, everybody? Once again, we are back as Impact Wrestling's 20th year of professional wrestling continues in full throttle as we head to Rebellion. And of course, it will be on pay-per-view, emanating from Portuguese, New York. You get it on Fight TV for $40. But I digress. So hello once again, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening, good night. Whenever you may watch this on live or on demand, you know what this is. For I am the Simple Man. My name is Noah Foster. With me once again, the new normal Jerry Rebellion. As the simple, impactful duo brings you once again a preview, predictions, and freeform Impact Wrestling panel where we're going to simply talk about Impact Wrestling Rebellion and probably go into much more tonight. And again, your opinions matter. Come join the league too. Links in the description down below. And shout out to the 17 of you that's in the league so far. And good luck to our current Impact League champion, the Holiday Christopher Mace. We will see if somebody can single-handedly dethrone him as things are pretty close. Jerry, you're doing fairly well with 20 points. Scott and Joshy tied for first place. Me and Cindy tied in second. Of course, me and Cindy are tied in second. I freaking that woman. Always my enemy and a good friend too. And AEW correspondent Mark and Ashley, they're in there. Shout out to all the great people I've come to know. Kyle, Lex, ATW for life. Dwayne Atkinson, Chris Willis, Tim, Benji, and so many others. Of course, there are returning participants too. That being said, I've freeform jabber enough. Jerry, how are you, and how are you looking forward to tomorrow's pay-per-view?
I'm actually looking forward to it. Like I haven't really been keeping up this past week or so because I've been like either super tired and whatnot. But I got a lot of what happened on last night's show, and like what I like about their go home shows is they actually do tie up everything. They actually you get a little bit of each match for like each match setup for that show. Whereas like with Raw and SmackDown and WWE, you have to watch both shows, and even then it's more filler than anything else.
Also, cars subject to change, results subject to change the day of, and Aaron Riss recaps is how I keep up. Thank you, Aaron Riss.
But Impact is very good about like not mincing their words and pretty much making each match have a certain importance to it. So I'm excited for his pay-per-view. I think it's going to be great.
Well, again, it's their last pay-per-view before they celebrate literally their 20th anniversary at the show that I went to last year live, and that will be Slammiversary. But also before that, we have May Day and Under Siege. But with that being said, as far as those events goes, they're to come as far as what's right now. Let's get right into it. So, yeah, it looks like they gave us a total of 9 matches here, 2 on the countdown. The countdown will be live on YouTube's Impact Wrestling channel, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And again, folks, your opinions matter. Get those predictions in. Come join the league, whether you're a newcomer, returning, whether you're just tuning in to Impact Wrestling. Feel free to join the fun, because at the end of the day, I'm just here to encourage you all to just enjoy life and enjoy professional wrestling. So let's go ahead and start looking at the countdown, and I think we'll start with this, where I finally, hopefully, will be re-inspired. As the Influence, the current Knockouts World Tag Team Champions, Madison Rayne and Neil Dashwood defend the gold against the former champs, Cassie Lee and Jessica McKay, the Inspiration, and yes, I am literally doing the stance, but I digress, I'm out of date. Sue me. That being said, this one kind of writes itself. We all know how the Inspiration lost these titles, tainted, thanks to Caleb with a K. Whether or not he was helping them or not, that little moment allowed the Influence to pick up the win. Yeah, that's funny, right? Now Caleb with a K is no longer involved in either of these ladies' vision, or, at their side, or some sort of influence or photographer in any way. He's gone. Literally gone from Impact Wrestling. I will say this, Caleb McKay, he kept up with his character. He was pretty funny at times. I wish him all the best, and wherever his wrestling or outside wrestling future takes him to. But now there's no outside influences. There should be no excuses. There should be a definitive winner. But it's also on the countdown, and theoretically, a countdown is your pre-show, your kickoff, your buy-in. You wouldn't necessarily expect maybe a title change, but when it comes to these knockout tag team titles, I only see maybe 2 other actual teams going for them, so maybe here it makes sense to set up something bigger, whether it's Under Siege or Slammiversary. And apparently, the participants in the Impact League agree with me wholeheartedly because it's almost 50-50. We got 9 people in favor of the Inspiration, and we got 8 people in favor of the Influence. So, Jerry, where do you stand? Do you think we're going to get new tag champs on the countdown?
I think we're going to. NXT did not too long ago, crowning Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez, or Rodriguez, whatever she's going by at this point.
Oh, good Lord Almighty!
They crowned them tag champs on the kickoff, like for NXT Takeover or whatever that was this last time.
EXP Stand Deliver. Yeah.
Well, I'm about to say I can't keep track anymore with them. I just can't. Not my NXT.
Thank you, Jerry. Same. But continue.
NXT UK is still brilliant, but NXT,
yes, it is.
But yeah, I can actually see the titles changing hands, especially since people are thinking it's like, okay, Caleb with a K is going to be gone, so they're going to find some other way of cheating to keep the belts. And I'm thinking no. I think they're going to have to find their new inspiration, and and it's going to cost them their belts, but it's going to be a long-standing feud because, like you said, there's really no other women's tag people right now. So they're going to hot potato the belt. I think it's going to go back to the inspiration.
It wouldn't surprise me because Madison Rain has a history of fallout with previous tag partners that we're well aware of. Queen Bee, of course, Knockouts legend, respect. That her and Tenille maybe have a fallout feud, and I could actually see some great matches from those two clashing with each other too. So that's kind of another way I see this going as well. When it comes to the inspiration, Cassidy, Justin McKay, they literally said what they do going forward they want to do as a tag team. You can't be more of a tag team unless you're tag team champions in professional wrestling. I feel they deserve it. So I'm going with the inspiration for the win as well. Again, like you said, don't rule out a title change. So I think it's going to be interesting to see.
It'll put butts in the seat. That's the whole idea. If somebody's watching the kickoff and they see a title change, like, wow, this could be a big night. Maybe I should order this pay-per-view. So
competition, beautiful lady. So there you go.
It's a very sound strategy.
Right. And again, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, what do you want people to buy into when it comes to Impact Wrestling especially? They are one of the most predominant, well-booked, top-to-bottom women's divisions in all professional wrestling. The knockouts, every knockout pretty much has a role or purpose. Mm-hmm. We're just waiting for Masha right now to find somebody that takes longer than 2 minutes to smash. Or a minute, excuse me. But I digress. But yeah, we're both thinking that they're going to be new tag champs. So again, y'all opinions matter. Please like, subscribe, comment, tell a friend. Also, thank you for those that tune in this video or check it out at any time, whether here or on demand. And again, join the Predictions League and tell your friends too, because I do Predictions Leagues for Impact, AEW, and WWE too. Maybe there's more.
You do a lot of charts. You do a lot of charts.
I try, but at the end of the day, I just have fun as a professional wrestling fan because it's all I eat, sleep, live, breathe, and watch. Although I do like the game sometimes too.
Making charts.
That's a clever quote. And by the way, love what the Owens do, and I cannot wait for Ishii vs. Adam Cole. But I digress. So sorry, going too far off in the weeds. Not even open forum. But that being said, when we think about, Owen Hart being a great professional wrestler, let's talk about these 3 professional wrestlers. And I can't believe, Jerry, that this is on the countdown. But like you said, give somebody something to buy into. Well, how's this for a buy-in? As Trey Miguel, the current X Division champion, defends the gold against former X Division champion Ace Austin and Speedball Mike Bailey in a triple threat match. We all know how this came to be because Ace Austin and Speedball Mike Bailey, they both qualified to be part of this triple threat in other triple threat qualifiers, bidding the better of the likes of Laredo Kid, which we saw on tag team action this past Thursday. But we kind of saw now that Ace and Mike, they might not be necessarily on the same page when it comes to this, because at the end of the day, everybody wants to be champion.
Such a hard kick. That was such a hard kick.
Good God, man. You're telling me. The speed and the strike. You hear that?
That gave me Tajiri vibes like crazy. I loved it.
That was the definition of a buzzsaw that made Taiji proud. All right, that's all I gotta say about that. And yes, I'm a huge fan of wrestling fan. But yeah, Trey Miguel, he's overcome Rocker Romero, Laredo Kid, Steve Macklin, and most recently, Jake Something that really took him for the ringer, and also an Ultimate X match at the Multiverse of Matches. Trey Miguel right now, he's the standard bearer, hometown boy, Toledo represent, of the X Division. Ace Austin, again, former X Division champion. Speedball Mike Bailey never held the title. Honestly, Speedball versus Trey, it might be the one-on-one that defines the X Division, maybe at Slammiversary. But as far as right now, I look at Trey Miguel, I still see him being the standard bearer for the X Division and holding the gold. If this was on the main show, I might think there's a title change, but this is the countdown, and Trey, of course, recently coming back, being driven by, of course, what he's doing in the name of his mother, God rest her soul. I'm definitely going with hometown boy Trey Miguel for the win here. I think he retains. As far as what happens with the other two, with Fulton gone, I feel there's going to be a fallout feud with Ace Austin and Speedball Mike Bailey. Keep in mind, Speedball Mike Bailey got the pin on Ace Austin in his debut on Impact Wrestling on pay-per-view. So I feel Ace hasn't forgotten that either. He probably didn't forget that kick eater from Thursday. But I got Trey retaining. What about you?
This is one of those situations where I know I'm going to be wrong, but it's highly feasible. So bear with me.
Please.
I see Ace Austin winning the title. I see him actually pinning Trey Miguel for it after Mike Bailey pretty much does all the work. That's the thing about a triple threat match. You have to be able to watch for both people. And like if he thinks that Ace Austin is no longer a factor, he goes in for the kill and just spaces, and then Trey Miguel gets pinned by Ace Austin instead. That's all. That'll work. That's the way triple threat matches work. And it just seems like a sleazy way that Ace Austin would win the match. So, if that's the case, I'm not ruling out Trey Miguel leaving Impact and going to NXT to team up with Wes Lee. Since Nash Carter is no longer with the company, it would kind of make sense for him have a mystery partner, and all of a sudden Trey Miguel shows up. Like I know, I'm not really sure how Impact contracts work, but I'm pretty sure they're extremely lenient with who they have and what they're able to do and how long their contract lasts. If they think they can make more money elsewhere, I don't think Scott D'Amore's really going to argue with them and send them on their way with good faith, and it's welcome arms to come back if they ever want to come back. But I like the idea of Ace Austin winning the belt, him and Mike Bailey having an awesome program leading into a Slammiversary, and if Trey Miguel does leave the company, he leaves as one of the most dominant X Division champions in a while. So
I like that a lot. And for those that don't know, this is my brother in Impact Wrestling fandom and knowledge. He could take Greg Cherry run for his money on the Wrestling Trio Challenge Championship or Quizlemania, in my opinion. Paul Mead, Paul, good to see you. Welcome to the forum. Yeah, I put you on the spot right there. Hey, you finished the Cast Trivia competition. Hey, he got off work. He's tired. It's all good.
We are consummate professionals here, good sir.
Guys, I don't even get paid for this. I just do this for fun, all right?
Consummate
so it's all good.
Professionals.
God, I'm gonna make that my nickname.
I got paid with Hardys for 2 years doing NXT and NXT UK. Okay.
Fair enough. Paul, you are a huge Ace Austin person. You wore his shirt when we went to AEW. We saw Ace Austin live at Chaos Wrestling. So I'm curious, do you think Ace Austin will become once again the X Division champion, or do you still feel like he's being kind of held in a spot where you think he should be maybe going for, I don't know, the Impact World Championship? What's your thoughts on this triple threat match?
I think Speedball's going to win, and Speedball can feud with Ace over the title.
Wow, we're all three different. I like this a lot. And Speedball, again, he pinned Ace in his debut, so I could see that.
That's the other thing. I see Ace Austin getting the win back of this, and even sweetening the pot by actually taking the belt with them. But Ace Austin has pretty much become like a gatekeeper for pretty much any title picture in that company. With him and Madman Fulton, if you beat them, you'd be in line for the tag titles. You beat him in an X Division match or X Division type match, you'd be number one contender to the X Division belt. You beat him in for the regular world title, number one contendership. You're automatically in there too. Ace Austin is pretty much the MVP, I think, of at least the mid card of Impact Wrestling.
He is also a Super X Cup winner too. That being said, we got, look at the polls here, 17 results. We got 3 picking Ace Austin, we got 5 picking Speedball Mike Bailey, and the majority, over 50%, pick hometown boy Trey Miguel to retain. And Paul, the only match you missed before this, so you're not that late, is the Inspiration versus the Influence. So just give us your thoughts on that real quick.
I want to see the Inspiration win the titles back.
Good man. That's why he's my best friend.
Wait. He says he wants to see it. He doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen. So continue, Paul.
All right.
I think the only reason why they lost the titles is because of injury.
Correct, because Cassie Lee wasn't cleared for a while, which is why we had Jessica McKay in that Battle Royal.
I think that's why they dropped the titles.
Don't you think that Madison Rayne and Tennille Dashwood more so just feels like a developing singles feud, considering those two size egos?
Well, you got Madison Rayne feuding with Giselle Shaw, so...
True. Also, nice picture with Giselle Shaw and Alicia Edwards. Alicia being a huge influence for Giselle Shaw. And Giselle Soleil Frost, good tag team work so far. I wouldn't mind seeing them go after the titles.
With an injury now. Is that true?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She confirmed it. She has surgery next month.
Ooh, well, I wish Lady Frost all the best in recovery. Same to Darius Martin, apparently. He got injured too, as broken by Sean Wassap of Fightful. So, again, the risk of the business. You love what you do, but you put your body on the line too. All the best to them and so many more that we don't know about.
At home.
Sure. Yeah, exactly. All right.
Okay, I'm going to digress here because you digress all the time. You ever notice how, like, every WWE video like that starts off, like, don't try this at home, but then it's like, yeah, I used to wrestle in my backyard in Kenosha.
Hardy, Pat McAfee. Yeah, it's like, okay, don't try as a home, but I did try as a home, and that influenced me to be a fan. Why do you think I'm a freaking commentator for the Jeff Meacham Network? Hi, Jeff. But I digress. That's about as far as I'm going, too, as far as sports broadcasting go. I got enough time dealing with people over the phone. That being said, just talk about dealing with people. How about dealing with the unknown? Because I don't know about y'all, as I think Paul Farrell's technical difficulties, but I honestly don't know what to think about this. As Violent by Design defends the iMpact World Tag Team Championships in an 8-team elimination challenge. Teams to probably be in this and not announced are included but not limited to Willie Mack and Rich Swann, who lost this past Thursday on BTI to another team that's selected in this, Keith Slater and Rhino. Decay lost to Violent by Design, and Black Taurus might be injured. We know OGK of Honor No More and the Good Brothers, Bullet Club and Honor No More feuding. We saw who won was, of course, Bullet Club. And it was also GK that cost the Good Brothers in that Lumberjack match in the first place that really developed this feud. There's been talking about them boys being involved with the pay-per-view. Of course, I'm talking about the Briscoes. You got the major players now officially in Impact Wrestling with Matt Cardona and Brian Myers. And I think that about covers everybody I could think of so far. Oh, and I said Rich Swann, Willie Mack. So I don't think that even rounds out your full field of 8. And with Decay possibly injured, we might get a surprise debut. So, simply put, I'm just going to put you all on the spot. Do you think we're getting new tag champs? And if so, who?
Let's ask Paul.
I think he's frozen again.
I know.
Technical difficulties. And clearly people are torn on this too. It's 50-50 literally in my poll. 8 people believe it's simply new tag champs. 9 people believe in Violent by Design. So thinking about this tag division or lack thereof or being rebuilt, I'm not sure how you call it. I really don't know what to think right now, but there's one thing I don't want to see. Them pigeonholed back to the Good Brothers that pretty much just held them down. It's almost like they're the only team in Impact Wrestling. So, Paul, now you're back, unless your phone craps out again. Your thoughts on the tag division and whatever state it is, and do you see new tag champs, and if so, who? What do you guys say about this?
I don't know who to pick. This is tough.
I'm about to say, right now we're only going by if they're going to retain or not, because we can't really say,
Right, but also the champs had to be involved basically in 8 matches. Keep in mind, they got pinned 7 other teams.
Well, you don't know who's starting.
True.
Is it right?
That never really makes
a difference
either. We've had most of the gauntlet type matches like that start with one team, then making it all the way to the end. But at the same time, that last team is always the one that ends up picking up scraps. Pretty deadly.
Don't remind me. Creepers got screwed. Don't remind me.
God.
Because I believe they made it sound like it's like a gauntlet.
Pretty much. It's the only way you could do this.
But without having a one-night tournament, yeah, that's the only way you could actually have 8 teams it's pretty much a gauntlet match.
Let's be honest. This is the reason why the X Division's on the countdown, and it's still bizarre to me.
So
but anyway, go ahead, Paul.
According to the website, they have obviously Violent by Design, Good Brothers, Heath and Rhino, Willie Makarich and Taven and Bennett. That's all that's confirmed according to the website.
Correct. And then them boys said they are likely going to be at the pay-per-view, so could they be a surprise entrant? And that still leaves two others.
They already have an event. They're scheduled. They're already scheduled for something else.
Oh, okay. So I mean, you never say never. I don't know. Again, this is live. This is the pay-per-view. Just saying.
Just like Alex Shelley's scheduled for GCW, so Motor City Machine Guns are being it. So Briscoes are doing something. I forget what.
Something wrestling. So at this point,
in New York tomorrow. That's what I'm saying.
Right. We also got the major players, though. That might be another option. Brian Myers and Matt Cardona. That still leaves one other surprise team, or two others.
Vincent and PCO.
Vincent and PCO might be a wild option to think about now that he's reanimated. I didn't think about that.
Have the FBI in. So
the full-blooded Italians. That was hilarious. We're in New York, though. I don't know. Okay, this isn't Philly. I'm just saying. What's the matter, you? Anyway. All right, but the bottom line is this. Do we think that Violent by Design will somehow create a plan of victory and survive this Elimination Challenge as champs?
I don't know.
To be determined. I'm just going to say that for right now, with the Freebird rule, and we don't know which two are going to do this, and we also have the flagpole and the other person came into play this past Thursday, I'm just going to say they will, because right now, I don't see no big plan for the tag division. And we still got to get to Under Siege. So, whoop, all up in the air. And also, Chris Bay is doing nothing either. So, not much more to say about that. But again, you guys threw out a lot of teams. We all know that are on Impact. We threw out some ideas of teams that could show up. And again, we threw out kind of the idea of how this match could go down. So, again, will there be a plan by design? We'll find out. That's really all I got to say about that. Not much more to say about that. Okay. Yeah. Well, let's move on from there to talk about a match that I'm sure we could talk a little bit more about because Paul watched NXT, Jerry watched NXT, I watched NJPW, and this is one of my favorite wrestlers in the industry. As the top dog, Jonah takes on my boy, and we see what he brings and takes against Stone Pitbull Wrestling. Tomohiro Ishii, one of the baddest, hardest mother effers in the business. You have to kill this guy to keep him down. He will make you fight for your life. I could not be more excited for this clash. Pretty short, sweet, and simple. Jonah overcame PCO twice, and he's out to prove that once again why he is the top dog, being involved in NJPW Strong, NJPW, and Impact Wrestling. Tomohiro Ishii, he's literally NJPW. It's as simple as that. But as we'll watch later tonight, he will be taking on Adam Cole, baby, in an All-In qualifier. He's also recently coming off a great match and victory against the king of professional wrestling, Minoru Suzuki at NJ Riot, and a victory off Chris Dickerson, Dirty Daddy, at Lone Star Shootout. So right now, Ishii, he is the guy you don't know necessarily if you are just an Impact Wrestling fan. But to any professional wrestling fan like me, you know what this guy will bring and will force the other to bring out. But looking at who needs to win more, and what could be ahead for either of these two men in Impact Wrestling? Is this a one-off, or is there more meets the eye? Especially with PCO reanimated and yelling Jonah's name, and I wonder if that feud is still dead or going too. Jerry, I will start with you. Who you got in this Clash of the Titans?
I'd actually see Ishii putting over Jonah at this point. They want to make him the unstoppable force in Impact Wrestling right now. And the best way to have that is to have the Murder Grandpa lose to him while he's there. So he may have a great weekend. I'm pretty sure he's ended up beating Adam Cole tonight. So
that's a bold take.
And that's going to be, well, it's either that or both him and Kyle O'Reilly are going to be in the tournament, which I cannot complain about at all. That would be superb.
Agreed.
But I think Jonah's actually going to surprise people and like actually beat Ishii at this event.
Paul Mead, you're familiar with Bronson Reed. This is Jonah.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure just off that, you probably might just go based on what you know. But what I just told you about Tomohiro Ishii and what Jerry's inferring to, where do you stand?
Yeah, I'm going with Jonah. Jonah is Impact Wrestling. Oh, and New Japan, of course, but I could see this extending into New Japan too.
Yeah, like just a round 2 type match over like New Japan at some point.
Both men involved in NJPW strong, and they got matches coming up as well in that form too. Especially
or they could meet up at the showdown going down. When like New Japan and AEW do their crossover. There's still some sort of working relationship with AEW. May not be as like wildly broadcasted as it was because New Japan is such a bigger deal. Yeah. But Impact could still really be. Scott D'Amore and Tony Khan could still be talking.
I think they still are. There's no doubt about that. Let's see here. 41% went with Tomohiro Ishii. 58% went with Jonah. So, again, pretty part, 10-7. Mm-hmm. Again, when I think about Tomohiro Ishii, I think about this. He's a guy not necessarily out to win. He's just out to fight everybody and bring the best fight out possible. But he has history with the current Impact Wrestling World Heavyweight Champion, Moose. In the fact that Moose has not beaten him yet. Jonah and Moose also have not collided. So potentially right here, you could have your next challenger for the Impact World title based on what happens in the main event, which I'm sure we're going to talk about quite a bit. But looking based on that and thinking about what match I want to see more, I'm actually going with Tomohiro Ishii to surprise us. And I don't think it's going to be a vertical drop brainbuster, even though he did suplex Bad Luck Fale at Wrestle Kingdom. But I think Tomohiro Ishii is going to surprise us, especially with the fact that PCO, he still wants Jonah. What's to stop PCO from coming out here, causing Jonah to be like, how are you still freaking alive? Distraction, boom, Ishii takes advantage. So I'm going with the Stone Pit Bull for the win. That's my opinion. So
PCO can easily go out there and destroy everybody, then go back to the back, and then you have that whole moment where they're both laid out, and whoever gets to their feet first is going to win. So,
all right, let's go ahead and move on.
Sorry, they should have they should have had some kind of confrontation at the New Japan show last week.
Well, to be fair, they were both in different matches, and Jonah got Shillelagh to the face, so he was probably KO'd, faced David Finlay in that 6-man street fight. And it was after that match that we got Tomohiro Ishii versus Minoru Suzuki, where somehow Ishii, still standing, won, and then got challenged by Eddie Kingston. So both men clearly were in a different state of mind, to say the least. All right. So, and remember, when FinJuice debuted, they won. Just saying. NJPW. Just saying. All right. Well, moving on from there, let's go to an all-Impact focus match here. And I'm sure Paul, I'm going to start with you, can actually talk more about this because he knows these two. At least he should. As Miss Flavor herself, Tasha Steelz, the current Knockouts World Champion, defends the Knockouts World Championship in her second defense against a former Knockouts champion in her own right and leader of Decay, in my opinion. Knockout OG, one of my favorites, DMS Money for Life. Rosemary. Okay, Paul, give me your thoughts on this match, considering the only go-home angle we got was a cheap shot to the back in the back of a parking lot this past Thursday.
So I think Tasha's going to win. It's too early. She can move back. There's plenty of other people she can face. But it's way too early for her to lose, in my opinion.
Fair. And I feel like that Havoc and Evans are definitely going to be involved in this too, because again, we saw how these two tussled and these two teams took each other out basically of the four-way knockouts contest at Multiverse of matches. Whether or not this is a one-off or this develops into something else, devolving down the line, we'll wait and see. Jerry, your thoughts on this? And to be fair, Paul, I do agree with you. It is too soon. I got Tasha retaining too.
I see somebody playing a factor that got mentioned the other day, I think in our chat, that reappeared back in the Impact roster again. I see somehow Susan coming into play here and costing Rosemary the match. So that because it's too early for Tasha to be losing the belt. For a while there, like the Knockouts title became kind of like I won't say obsolete because it's still like one of the best women's divisions on the planet, but like the side matches, like or the contender matches, seem like they're taking more precedent over the title itself. So I like the idea of Tasha keeping the belt and made a little more lengthy of a reign.
Yeah, and again, she's worked extremely hard for this, and I feel that she definitely can go far and bring a lot of eyes to the Knockouts title. She definitely brings a lot of intensity to her contests, thanks to Chelsea Green assist and Mickey James' Philly Street fight. And most people do agree, 13-4 actually, believe that Tasha will retain too. There's not much more to really say about this. Honestly, when I look at this card, this is going to be a good match to really show if Tasha can hold up as champion on a pay-per-view and bring it forward too. So again, Tasha, pressure's on you, but I do think she's going to retain. There's not much more to say about that. Okay.
I'm just glad they went with the tag title for the pre-show than the actual Knockouts belt for the main show. That actually that's kind of comforting.
And that makes sense based on, again, you look at, the actual roster and the storylines and stuff like that. What's the bigger storyline right now? It should be the Knockouts Championship versus the tag titles, even though the Rosemary thing kind of came out of the blue after winning a Battle Royale.
They kind of had to. As much as deep as their roster is for the Knockouts, there isn't really many singles competitors. They're all kind of paired off at this point, and you really don't see anybody shining through. So Rosemary, Rosemary is a quick fix until somebody else gets put into that spot.
Yeah, and she definitely will carry Tasha in this match, no doubt. Now, again, I've looked at forums. I've seen nothing about him being removed from the show. So it sounds like this match is still going to go. Again, non-title. Grudge match for honor. And nothing more. As Eddie Edwards faces Jonathan Gresham. Looking at the way this match stands, this match feels weird to me. But honestly, this feels like this should be a match that could take the night, considering who we're dealing with here. If this match is going to continue, which right now looks like it will, because the only thing John Gresham has been removed from is progress, if Eddie Edwards is going to cement this idea of, I'm the leader of Honor More, I lead by example, your honor doesn't mean anything anymore, Eddie Edwards has to pull out a dirty win. I think that's a simple narrative, and whether or not that means he does, to add insult to injury, maybe go after that title later on, or force Gresham maybe to challenge his own honor and put this up against Eddie Edwards, that's something yet to be determined. But for right now, especially since Honor More just lost on Thursday in tag action, if anyone in Honor More is going to get some momentum to this group, Eddie Edwards has to be the guy. So I got Eddie Edwards winning by hook or by crook. Jerry, your thoughts on this match, if it goes down?
Well, if it goes down, I see Gresham retaining.
Well, it's not a title match.
But I'm saying I don't see him losing in a singles match right now, even if it is non-title. But if it doesn't go down and Eddie Edwards just goes out there and does a call-out kind of thing, I think it'd be great to see Sami Callihan come back.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah, the whole idea of him being part of Honor No More now, and was for the flag bearer for Impact for a while there, for who I feel to be the heart of Impact still, Sami Callihan, to make his return since he's due back sometime in the next couple months from his ankle injury. It'd be a perfect time, even if he's not cleared to wrestle. Just go out there, call out Eddie Edwards, made for Slammiversary, and then we have that build to that point, and that would be superb.
Considering these two history,
but otherwise, hell, even if that's the case, maybe the Titantron shows up and it's a whole ICU thing, and just distracts Eddie enough that Jonathan Gresham gets him in an octopus, and it's all over.
I like that way. You definitely changed the narrative.
Yep.
Paul, do you agree with that sentiment? You definitely seemed excited for that idea.
So, I would love to see Sami Callihan return. But I could see Honor No More breaking up already. Turning on Eddie Edwards already.
Ooh. And that's how Jonathan Gresham gets the win?
Yes, I don't see all of them staying with Impact much longer. Mike and Maria are rumored to be gone soon. So,
yeah. I don't know more. Just got a bunch of moving parts right now that kind of are just finding their way in. I mean, they teased the idea of Kenny King, Chris Bay, mentor and trainer. That'd be a good idea. It sounds like PCO, the only person he wants to keep facing is Jonah. Sounds like that's still going. And Vince is just there. And OGK, they are a tag team, so they're going to be involved in this gauntlet. But I mean, if they lose, that might literally be it. They might go back to NWA. Maria's right now is the most wild part here. But I know she's
especially with her talkings with Tony Khan.
And she would be a great addition to help guide for the women's division, no doubt. Especially with the Ring of Honor women's division now under Tony Khan's umbrella.
She is smart beyond words. Like, people don't realize how smart that woman actually is.
Well, Paul met her, so he can attest.
Well, I met her back when she was in OVW, and even then, like, I knew she was like a very, very smart woman. I met her at a house show, like back when she had just lost that Diva Search, but they still signed her to a deal. She was in OVW for a short time, like managing, I think it was Deuce Shade, who went on to be like Sim Snuka in the WWE, but long before he did the whole Deuce and Domino thing. But
I'm all about cool. I remember that.
Deuce and Domino were just lovely. I love them. And Cliff Compton's one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet in your life. So,
fair.
And we just lost Paul.
Anyways, you were saying.
But yeah, Maria, I think if she has the opportunity to make a strong women's division in AEW, or even like her own company at this point of women wrestlers, like, almost like a mercenary type group that goes to whatever promotion they want, that would be
freelancers.
perfect.
Yeah. I mean, Mission Pro kind of does that to a degree.
At this point, that's what wrestling needs to be. There shouldn't really be a forbidden door. There shouldn't be a door at all. Like, if these wrestlers want to go to different promotions and whatnot, get their name out and still make the companies money, I don't see a problem with that at all.
Shout out to Kylan King, who's now a champion in 3 promotions, including an all-women's promotion, Capital Championship Wrestling. Go watch it, folks, on Tile Match Network. And again, I watch Mission Pro too. So I get what you're saying, Jerry. And again, right now, when you look at any company besides WWE, it is kind of what the industry feels like quite a bit. And I do find that very reinvigorating, especially when the wrestlers themselves are hosting shows and giving these opportunities, like Swerve did at Swerve's house, which I heard was very cool. But that being said, you all bring up a lot of compelling points. And as far as this match goes, if this is it for Honor No More, because everybody else is practically lost, and John McCutcheon right now, he's basically been undefeated since holding this title. Even in non-title matches, I think he's had non-title matches and won too. It feels like the Octopus should win here, and it does feel like some weird angle will go down. So whether it's Sami Callihan or, if I'm being even wider and bolder, Claudio, I'm going to say that blank beats Eddie Edwards. But as far as this match goes, I'm going with the Octopus too. You guys swayed me.
I was about to say that or Davey Richards, because we still haven't heard anything really much out of Davey Richards.
But we know the Wolves want to come together to face Jon Moxley, Sami Callihan, Hardy's insert tag team here, and we know the Wolves, they want to compete on the. We know that's gotta be coming, and Davey and Eddie back together in this way.
And that would be an interesting way to break up Honor No More, or at least kick Eddie Edwards out, have him get beaten up, and then Davey Richards comes out for the save. And then you have the American Wolves reunite for a match at Slammiversary against Honor No More.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right, regardless, as far as this match goes,
either way, that's about it. This is going to be like a sleeper match. It's going to be the match that's going to have some sort of ramifications to it that are going to set a whole bunch of other things into motion.
Bar none. Paul, you have a further thought?
Not really.
Okay, just what you said there.
I had one. It's gone.
No, I think he was just getting adjusted. But again, here I'm just like, you speak your mind. I just guide the ship. I don't control it. All right, let's keep going through this show and look at this match, which is going to be interesting for a number of reasons. As the Switchblade, Jay White, leader of Bullet Club, too sweet, takes on Chris Sabin again. This time versing also Steve Macklin. It's a triple threat grudge match with all the possible grudges you can think of. Chris Sabin beat Jay White, giving him his first singles loss back at the multiverse of matches. An unbelievable affair that Alex Shelley wasn't able to deliver the same result. And we see in the subtle Bullet Club nods, including Shell Shop and Alex Shelley, sending a direct message to Bullet Club as well. But Steve Macklin, he's had crosshairs of Chris Sabin for a long time, ever since the No Surrender match where he was pulling it out as the traitor, but wasn't. Macklin basically gave a short promo this past Thursday talking about how he stands alone, there is no honor, there's nothing too sweet here, and only mayhem will ensue. So at the end of the day, right now, this feels like Jay White's out for redemption, Macklin's out to destroy Sabin, and now maybe go after the Switchblade, who made himself to be involved in this now after low-blowing the man. This one could kind of go more so, I feel like, in one of two men's ways. Because, again, it's triple threat. You got a buffer, you got a fall guy. And Jay White, he's not a guy to be a fall guy. Ever. Again, only one singles loss is being part of Impact Wrestling. But then you have Steve Macklin and Chris Sabin that are no strangers to each other in a former rivalry in that self. And honestly, that could be the end game that continues on after this, too. But something right now, considering the catalyst professional wrestling and everything he's doing, tells me that Jay White's going to slip in the back door and steal the win, rolling up Sabin. Technically getting his redemption, but also he's letting Sabin and Macklin, the Impact guys, do their own thing, while he does his own thing too, and lead by example for Bullet Club. I have Jay White pulling out the win here, by hook or by crook, because again, triple threat, there are no rules. Jerry, your thoughts on this match? Again, it's Chris Sabin, Hell Sabin, but also Steve Macklin, he's out to destroy Sabin. Sabin beat Jay White. Jay White wants to get that revenge on Sabin. So, good luck putting together.
I'm all sorts of kerfuddled about this match because, like, it is a triple threat match. Jay White does lead the Bullet Club, and the Good Brothers aren't really going to be doing much of anything. And, like, Chris Bay is going to be around too, so it's easy to, like, turn it like a 33% chance of winning if you're doing a Steiner math.
Oh gosh, don't start that. Don't you start that.
It's like way over 100% if Chris Bay uses if he uses Chris Bay and the Good Brothers. I think Macklin's kind of a dark horse in this because he does stand alone, but there's always that chance that he's got some sort of allegiance up his sleeve and we don't know about it yet. Because if you think about it, we have not seen Wesley Blake or Jackson Riker since they've been released from WWE. So for them to pop up here at a place, I think called Rebellion, and we have Forgotten Sons reunion, that wouldn't shock me much at all because that'd also be another tag team you could throw into the mix after a bit. And like they could do the whole Freebird rule thing. But for right now, I'm going to have to say Jay White is going to pick up the victory.
Majority believes in Jay White with 13 of the poll. 3% believe in Sabin. One person, and I don't think it's Macklin himself, did pick Steve Macklin. But Paul, your thoughts about this?
I could definitely picking Jay White. Wesley Blake's been with Control Your Narrative, hasn't he?
Wait. Oh, wait. Yeah, you're right. He showed up at the freaking final battle. How I forgot about that. Yeah. Oh, that's right, because Control Your Narrative is one of the things that breaks my brain. But yeah, I totally forgot about that. But
I still think Control Your Narrative is just going to be like an angle for AEW at this point. It's so anti-AEW at this point that it has to be an AEW.
Look, I know AEW is working with DDT Pro, but even they aren't that insane, I don't think. I'm just saying. And Tony Khan again.
Take consideration who runs the place, and then you'll kind of like start seeing my opinion a little bit.
I don't know if Tony Khan's that crazy, but again, this is a professional wrestling fan. Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. Here we go with the Twitter debate again. Friggin' Mr. Anderson and Matrix. All right, guys. But bottom line, we all breathe with the switchblade here. It just seems like it makes the most logical sense. It feels there's going to be a continued fallout with Macklin and Sabin, and whether or not Macklin goes after Sabin or Macklin sets his sights on Jay White, and that devolves in this singles feud. It still comes down to the fact that this is still his era, and we're going with him for the win too.
Macklin will have Sabin down, and then Jay White will pick up the scraps.
Exactly. Yeah. Because that's what Jay White is. Master in-ring psychologist and planner.
And
all right. Well, all right. Well, it's not really the land down under, but we know there's a country underneath us where a certain La Loca looks to bring back her culture, her heritage, and what she holds near and dear back to there and back to her. So let's go ahead and talk about what honestly might be the match of the night. As the virtuosa, the personification of technical excellence, and the current champ, the Ring of Honor Women's World Champion and AAA, Reina de Reinas Champion, Diana Perazo, defends the AAA Gold against Taya Valkyrie. And this, of course, all goes back to, well, a couple of things. In the beginning, Taya Valkyrie once fought Diana Perazo, the Knockouts champion, and lost via submission to, of course, the Fujiwara armbar. Since then, Diana Perazo, she has changed now from the Knockouts champ into something that has been more of a focus than the Knockouts championship. The champ, holding 2 crowns. And now with 7 successful champ challenges underneath her reigns, if you want to put it like that. I believe 4 of them have been for the Ring of Honor, and three or two of them have been for the Reyes de Reinas. Of course, most recently, defeating the person she took the AAA title off of in the first place, that formed the champ before becoming champ. Talking about Fabi Apache when she beat her back in Triple Mania, although under controversial circumstances with the referee. And now we have Taya Valkyrie, La Buena Loca, who wants to get this title back and bring it back to AAA and bring it back to a brighter light that she thinks Diana has been denying it. It's one of those things right now where it's like you think about a champion and they find a person that rivals them to a degree that finally takes it off them. If someone's going to take one of these crowns off the Virtuosa, particularly AAA, it's gotta be La Buena Loca at this point. I have to go with Taya Valkyrie. Now, what happens with Diana after that regarding future appearances in AAA, which you know she'll be involved with, and of course waiting to face Mercedes Martinez to become the undisputed Ring of Honor Women's World Champion. This is the next saga for the Virtuosa in her continued evolution of her professional wrestling career. But I think Taya is going to take this crown off her one way or another. So I have Taya Valkyrie becoming the new AAA champion. Paul, your thoughts on this match? I know you're not that familiar with AAA, but you know Taya Valkyrie, you know La Buena Loca, and you know what she's capable of. And she's held this title 4 previous occasions. Is she becoming a 5-time AAA champion?
Yes, definitely.
Enough said.
Champ era is going to be over soon, so.
Well, to be fair, more focus has been on the Ring of Honor titles. I mean, again. Jerry, your thoughts on this?
I definitely think that Taya Valkyrie's going to win the belt on this one, and it's going to give Diana like a crisis of faith. Granted, she'll still have that Ring of Honor belt, and she's going to hold it like near and dear, like even super tighter. It's going to be like how I thought Kenny Omega, like, you know, him dropping the titles was going to go. Because I thought it was going to be a lot more smooth, a lot more gradually, but then he got injured, so he had to start dropping them all like very, very quickly. But
exactly.
I like the idea of her just like losing the belt, but then like, you know, just over analyzing things so much like on how she lost the belt and getting more and more obsessed with keeping the Ring of Honor belt at any cost. And that's going to cause like a bloodbath between her and Mercedes Martinez, like when they end up showing it, like, you know, having their match.
With round 2, yes. So
it's going to rival like one of those like lights out matches that they've been doing in AEW and the scale of violence that Mercedes Martinez and Perazo are going to put against each other.
And again, Diana Perazo has literally done everything possible, Impact Wrestling and beyond. So I think this champ thing has definitely raised the value of not only her, but also both these titles. There goes Paul again. But yeah, I just feel like right now that Taya Valkyrie, and I don't think there's going to be a one-stop spot either for her in Impact Wrestling. Honestly, she might make this a focal point away in Impact Wrestling to a degree. So we'll see. But yeah, I think Taya's taking this.
That would make sense for her to like win this match, but then like, I won't say get greedy, but like but while I'm here, Tasha, hi.
Okay, now that would be interesting. You got La Buena Loca and you got that bad flavor. All right, I kind of like that idea, especially with the promos that could come out of that.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind that actually.
Basically, you're just shifting a belt off one person, but then like you'll still have like 3 women's champions plus the no knockout champion, all under the same banner with Impact. That's almost unheard of.
That really is. But again, Impact Wrestling, the mecca, the beacon of the professional wrestling universe.
Yeah.
10 people believe in Taya Valkyrie, while 7 do believe in Diana Perazo. And again, Diana Perazo has beat Taya Valkyrie before in singles action, but this is for the AAA goal. There's a different incentive here, and I feel La Buena Loca is going to do what she needs to do to avoid the Fujiwara armbar, if not counter into her own, and take that crown off of Diana Perazo. So we all agree.
We've already got Taya, like, we've already got Tasha, like, retaining. Later on in the evening. So if this is pushed further towards the main event spot, she's definitely going to Taya Valkyrie is definitely going to take the match.
Definitely. And honestly, again, this could be a match of the night. Give us a run for our money. But as far as the storyline, the grudge of the night, since Bound for Glory, let's go ahead and move on to the main event as the Impact World Champion Moose defends against his greatest rival and toughest challenger to date, the walking weapon, Josh Alexander, who has been literally on an emotional roller coaster since Bound for Glory, where literally Moose called his shot and literally took the moment from him and his family, and then made it personal with his family after literally getting up in front of his wife and his son and then spearing his wife for good measure additionally on an individual show. And then with the most pompous of apologies towards what Josh Alexander is to wrestling and to his family. The last shot was Moose being C4 spiked off the apron through a table to the floor by Josh Alexander. He's got his focus, doesn't have his emotions in check, maybe. But is this saga at Rebellion a story of revenge that ends in redemption and reclaiming? Does Josh Alexander once again become the Impact World Champion? Or does Moose overcome maybe the last real obstacle in defining himself as the self-proclaimed greatest Impact World Champion? This, guys, I feel truly could go either way, while the narrative seems obvious to the result. The caliber of competition these two are going to bring out in each other, that's what's going to be the deciding factor. And that's why I feel like this match right here is probably the most polarizing to call. Because again, you have to consider what is the future of Impact Wrestling heading into the 20th anniversary at Slammiversary. So, with that being said, Paul, I'm going to start with you for the main event.
I'm picking Josh. It's time for his redemption. He's going to win it. Now, if Moose wins, I could see Sami Callihan confronting Moose. But I'm still going with Josh as my pick.
All right. Jerry, most people do believe in Josh. 12 out of the 17. 5 picked Moose. So, with that being said, put that creative mind to work, my friend. What do you see happening? What is our ending scene for Rebellion?
Moose retaining. You'll want that Empire ending for this pay-per-view leading to Slammiversary. You'll want Josh Alexander to actually win the belt at Slammiversary, and like if that's the case, it gets more intense. Maybe they'll turn it into a steel cage match. Could easily bring back 6 sides of steel for that match, and that'd be maybe something cinematic. I don't really care, but I think it's going to be that situation because Moose has done pretty much all he can really do in this company, I think. And I think, if anything, if anybody's going to transition over to ROH from Impact Wrestling at this point and possibly challenge Samoa Joe for the TV title, it'll be Moose.
Wow. Okay. Well,
that's a dark horse and a half. I know it's a wild prediction, but that's why you have me on these shows.
And again, I love the creativity.
Down to go from Impact World Champion to go to Ring of Honor Television Champion.
I don't see it as a demotion at all, especially the way Samoa Joe is held in regard. But at the same time, if he goes for the ROH World Title, I could actually see Jonathan Gresham at some point dropping it to maybe Adam Cole. So I'm thinking Adam Cole and the rest of Red Dragon will end up going to Ring of Honor as well once the show actually starts up, and they'll be like the figureheads of that show. They'll do like an Undisputed Era type reign over in Ring of Honor, and then you have Moose come over to try to unseat Adam Cole.
I feel a lot of your Ring of Honor ideas are going to be really based off what happens at the Forbidden Door pay-per-view with the fact that J-Rock talked about the Undisputed Elite and Bullet Club in their era. So you might be fastballing or speedballing, technically, but I kind of like where you're going because, again, you're trying to build a foundation for Ring of Honor that has yet to really be laid out because all we've had is one show.
Moose had his run in Ring of Honor, but it wasn't that successful of a run. He'll actually be a bigger fish in a considerably a smaller pond again if he actually goes back to Ring of Honor at this point. He doesn't have huge name value, but that's okay. He's got enough name value that people know him, they hate him, and it's going to be perfect.
He definitely draws the heat. And again, Moose has so far overcome Matt Cardona, W. Morrissey, and Eddie Edwards in his title reign. So he definitely has been a predominant figure in Impact Wrestling as the world champion.
He's going to win by hook or by crook at this pay-per-view, and then he's going to drop the belt at the Slammiversary.
Oh, that's true. He could win by disqualification, championship advantage, and that could push this out even further.
Josh Alexander could not get his emotions in check, and he could not adhere to referee's count or by referee stoppage or something, and then he will actually like lose the match that way.
I'm just trying to think right now. What's the biggest possible Impact World Championship match you could book for Slammiversary? Considering that's literally in June.
There's no other match that you can set up for in that amount of time, and that's why it's much easier. Just go ahead and keep the belt on Moose right now, and then build even more to him versus Josh Alexander, like in some sort of stipulation match. It's got to be some sort of crazy stipulation.
Well, I mean, Sami Callihan and Kenny Omega, they had an all-out just brawl, and I saw that live last year. So, yeah. I mean, I do understand what you're saying. Paul, what's your thoughts towards maybe the Slammiversary main event? You picked Josh to be the new champion, but who does he face at Slammiversary, considering the whole heel-face dynamic?
Yeah, Paul, who? Who, Paul?
Josh defending against Boost. I don't know.
You're freaking just revisit the match encounter. So... well, right now you've all put me.
Rematch again. Like...
You've all put me in a corner because you both went opposite. Dang it! I think about this though also with Ishii, and I don't feel Ishii's going to be a one-off. Moose has not beaten Ishii yet, one-on-one. Why not have Moose face Tomohiro Ishii for the title, per se, and maybe finally get the victory over him? That could be like a fill match in maybe before Botch. Slammiversary, I'm going to set Bound for Glory. There's something right now that feels like, to me, with this just being focused right now on just Moose and Josh Alexander, there's got to be more for both men. But I just don't see Moose doing anything else besides contending or being the Impact World Champion. I guess the same could be said for Josh Alexander, but we've seen what sort of grudges he's been involved in the meantime. Minoru Suzuki, Jonah, just to name a couple. So, that being said, oh, this is hard. Hey, Dwayne Atkinson, what up? I'm going to say right now, officially, that, and the way they've just been doing this story, it just seems so obvious played out, but you put so much into this, you've made it as personal I think you can make it. I really feel like if you don't do it here, you're not going to do it, I feel like as much purpose. Well, again, if you don't do it on pay-per-view here, does it have the same amount of meaning at Slammiversary? That's why I'm torn. And I feel like Josh does deserve this. He spared the man's wife, for Pete's sake. The only thing he hasn't done yet is try and put the son in a jackhammer. God help us. That being said, I'm actually going to go with Paul here. I'm officially going to say that Josh Alexander finally gets his redemption at Rebellion and reclaims the gold. And who shows up afterwards? To be determined. But something big has to be built heading into Slammiversary. And I don't think it's going to be Moose and Alexander 2. I got a new champion.
3.
I predicted Josh to win, but changed my mind. I feel they will make the title change at the next major pay-per-view. Look, if it doesn't happen...
Thank you, Dwayne!
Here's the thing. Shout out to Jeff Meacham. Here's the thing. We know the title change is due. We know the title change is due. And we think it should be due to Josh Alexander. What we can't decide on is it should happen at Rebellion or should it happen at Slammiversary. They can't drag this all the way out to Bound for Glory. There's no way they can do that. That would be beyond bonkers, all right? 1 full year, give me a break. But right now, I feel like
Can you imagine a 4-way match with Jonah, Josh Alexander, Moose, and Ishii?
I can see that at Slammiversary, but again, if you're going to have a multi-person match, I still see Josh being the champion because I feel a multi-person feud makes sense with a babyface at the front versus a heel. Because the heel's already done everything he needs to do. So, at this point, unless Moose gets himself DQ'd, I have Josh pulling out the win. Now, I'm leaving it at that. Okay. So, we've settled now that we believe the future is going to be in the Walking Weapons' hands, much to Jerry's chagrin. But we also don't know who's to show up next, and we don't know how long this Ishii fan is going to work out. We're kind of still a bit torn as far as what we think's next for Deonna Perazo when it comes to her identity in Impact Wrestling as just the Ring of Honor World Champion. Will Mercedes Martinez show up in Impact Wrestling? Will we get the match in Impact Wrestling? Maybe at Under Siege? We don't know what's to happen at Under Siege. With a name like that, will somebody else invade and cause mischief and chaos in Impact Wrestling? So there's a lot of things to think about here as we close out. So that being said, we've covered the card now. Some people have thoughts. They're like, let's have some fun. Let's go, Jay White. Can't wait for this event. Do not sleep at Impact Wrestling. That dude has the right thing. And then someone's like, I have no idea. LOL. That's about as wise as an answer you could say.
That is what I've said this before, and I'll say it again. That is what I love about Impact Wrestling is not predictable. It's never like one of those situations where like it's like, okay, that was a dumb decision. Usually, like it says something like better in the course, and we just don't know it yet, and that just makes it that makes it that much better when we get that payoff. So I'm excited for this pay-per-view. I'm more excited for it now that we've actually sat here and discussed it than I was before I actually came into it. So.
And that's all I could hope for out of these prediction panels, because that's really what drives me forward, too. Mm-hmm. So, again, thank you both. Paul, any last thoughts you have regarding Impact, Rebellion, the closing, future, and your thoughts overall?
Not
I'm making his brain work.
What's with the question mark in the Rebellion logo?
Well, that was there at first, but as we've seen now, it looks like it's just been, removed, because now you just have the split fold of Alexander and Moose. But it still makes me wonder, question mark, will somebody show up? And if so, who?
That's what I'm saying. Like if Sami Callihan doesn't pop up in the Eddie Edwards match earlier that evening, he easily pop up and be the next challenger to Moose.
And it would be 1 year anniversary if it was Sami Callihan challenging again for the Impact Gold at Slammiversary.
Not 1 year, because that was July, and this is June.
Fair enough. Close enough.
Right.
Technicalities aside, I literally have a VIP poster of when I went to Slammiversary last year. I get it. Last year was July 17th. This year it's the end of June. Either way, we're in for a spectacular pay-per-view, and I can't wait to see who shows up and comes out as the champions, too, as we head into Impact Wrestling's 21st year. Where right now, Impact Wrestling is one of the strongest forms it's ever been, and I absolutely love it. But I digress. And also still, the Knockouts division, head front runners of women wrestling divisions in the industry from a non-all-women's promotion. That's all I got to say about that. All right, well, gentlemen, great stuff. And again, good luck to both of you. I'll be sure to put these predictions in. And unless anything else happens, like a countdown special, like they do like little videos, or you all have a sudden change of thought, let me know and I'll change it. Again, good luck to the current champ, Holiday Christopher Mace, and Paul, Cindy, Mark, Ashley, Jerry, and everybody else included. I wish you all the best, too. Before we conclude, let's go ahead, plug and promote where people can connect with us, too, should they want to. Paul, anything you want to plug and promote? Maybe something that people should go see, or anything that's on your mind? Or are you just ready to go to sleep?
Ready to go to sleep. I don't have
All
anything.
right. Well, yeah, and I know the work thing, too. So thanks, brother, for coming on the forum. Get some rest, man. If I don't see you tomorrow, I'll see you at church. God bless you.
I'll see you tomorrow night, yeah.
Oh, you're going to come over? Okay, good, because I might actually need your help to buy the pay-per-view. and I'll just cash up you on Thursday. But we'll talk more about that tomorrow. Jerry, always a pleasure. I wish they would bring back Bound for Glory series. That's a thought. Maybe they could even build that in a way at Slammiversary. I wouldn't mind seeing that. Paul, I mean, come on, before you leave, you got to talk about Bound for Glory series. We've all been fans of that.
I mean, that was a Hogan thing. So...
I mean, there was at least one thing out of that era that was worthwhile, I guess. But anyway.
You're Hogan or Hulk Hogan?
Which one do we like better? Sorry, did I say that out loud? Anyway. All right, Jerry, always a pleasure, my friend. I already got it down below, but anything else you want to plug or promote, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Jero_JSJ. Right now, I can't even remember my password for that, so I'm kind of locked out. And it's attached to my old cell phone number, so I'm waiting to hear back from him.
Oh, good
Lord.
I'm
working on that, but otherwise you can find out Facebook group Armbar, all capital ARMBAR exclamation
point. Don't forget it.
Still love that cover. Thank you, Cleaver, for coming up with that one. But yeah, like Noah's one of the admins there, or moderators, I'm not sure which at this point. Either way, he can get you in there, or I can. Just find us on there, and we'll see you soon.
Well, there you go. Again, gentlemen, I thank you. We'll reconvene for Under Siege and go from there, too. Maybe I'll do an all-out, pun intended, panel for Slammiversary. We'll see if we get Mark and Tim and some of the other Impact fans. We can send me in this thing, too. But I thank you all kindly. And folks, again, you want to join the league, Prediction League, the forum is down below. Link in the description down below. Come join the fun, let your opinions be showcased and matter too, and come support Impact Wrestling. You want to know more about me? Know this. I am just a simple man and a lifelong fan of professional wrestling. Damn it! God bless the goodness in this industry. But I digress. So find me on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at Foster1916 for all sorts of fans wrestling. And shout out to ATW crew on Twitter. We'll be back with a new ATW view within the next coming weeks too, so stay tuned for more on that. And also keep following the Simple YouTube channel for all sorts of fans wrestling, live or on demand in your life too. As always, I like to close with no winners, but no losers, no bears. Just fans with opinions for this passion we all share. At the end of the day, folks, support one another, respect each other, and just enjoy life and enjoy professional wrestling. It's as simple as that. With that being said, thank you so much for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, comment, tell a friend, hit the bell notification goes live on this channel. Hit the subscribe button. Help me keep growing this fun little community. Shout out to all 229 viewers with me on this fun YouTuber creators journey. It's not laying up anytime soon. And I will be definitely busy this week too, as we will once again on the Daily Slam recap and review Rampage, and I cannot wait for Adam Cole and Tomoyoshi E tonight too, and Maria Shafir and Jay Cargo for that matter. And also stay tuned as I will be with the Jeff Meacham Network, and there's a lot of things going on there. We have Open Mic Night tonight, we have Rebellion Watch Along, we have Open Mic Night tomorrow night. He's got Ask the Dads, live simulcast Talk Wrestling, the Greg Cherry Show. We got Backlash matches, the No DQ review. He also will make a showing, and the Stat Boy will rant on all sorts of things too. All that and more coming up next week on the Jeff Meacham Network. For the new normal, Jet Rebellion. For my tired Impact fan and friend, Paul Mead. I am the Simple Man, and my name is Noah Foster. Thank you for tuning in. And as always, we hope you enjoyed the forum. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your Friday night. Make a positive impact all the time you can in life, and however you may enjoy wrestling or anything for that matter that moves you forward in life. Just have a good night. So
that was stupendous.
Don't you bring up that stupid brand term, that nonsensical... I'm not going there. We're not going into a rant. I'm not rolling credits and ranting like Gilbert Godfrey did on Joan... Never mind.
Stupendous.
That was stupid, and that's all I gotta say about that. All right, good night, everybody.